You know, I debated using the green screen to try and do a thermoptic camo effect, but heck with it. So the very first teaser trailers are out for Ghost in the Shell starring Scarlett Johansson, and let's set that whole thing aside. I did another video on it already. I'm not going to talk about it right now. But I do want to talk about these teasers, and it is multiple. There are 5 teasers, and teaser, the best word. These things are so short, they are seconds long. First one I saw, I came across accidentally. It was the ad ahead of a YouTube video, and I was like, what? Which, honestly, in my mind, is kind of the perfect effect. I'll talk about what was specifically in the teasers in a little bit, but I just love this strategy. I love this tactic of these just giving you glimpses of the world, glimpses of the atmosphere, glimpses of the vibe of the thing. And because I think that's a really good thing to sell Ghost in the Shell on. I think if you try and actually dig into the story, well, first of all, a lot of people are going to call it a Matrix ripoff, which is, of course, unfair. The original material predates the Matrix and heavily inspired the Matrix, but, you know, trying to explain the story, the experience of watching Ghost in the Shell, that original anime especially, is so much about the atmosphere and the look and the feel of it, much more so than the nuts and bolts of the story. Not to say it's a bad story, it's a great story, but the visuals and that whole package is really what you think of first, more than actual sort of the plot progression of the thing. So I think this is a terrific way to do this, and I wouldn't mind seeing more sort of studios and movies adapt this way of doing teasers. So I like the strategy. So what do I think about what's actually in the snippets? Looks okay. I mean, this is all going to get very speculative, and I'm probably going to read too much into it because, I mean, there's very little to go on from this. All we've really got is a sense of the visual look, and it looks good. It looks like Ghost in the Shell, and it looks like Ghost in the Shell while feeling incredibly evocative of those very iconic images from the anime, from the manga, without directly referencing anything. They are, at least to my eye, new images and new compositions, but they feel very much of that world. So that's a good thing, and that's a promising thing. And I kind of expected that from Rupert Sands as a director, because I know a lot of people didn't like his Snow White and the Huntsman. I almost liked it. There were a few things that dragged it down, but I thought visually it was a great movie. So I thought he was a pretty good fit for this, as long as he had a strong script, and obviously that's the thing we don't know yet. As far as the snippets we saw, the very first one, just that weird sort of kabuki makeup thing floating along. No idea what that was, but intrigued as heck. We got a look at Takeshi Kitano as Aramaki. I like the hair. I kind of wish they'd given him the facial hair too, but I mean, that's just me being iffy. He looks great. I love that guy. I love him and everything. We got a few different images of Scarlett Johansson specifically. You know, we got a nice distance shot, very atmospheric. You know, we got her with this other woman that not too much to go on. It's obviously an interaction scene, and we've got no context for it. I'll tell you though, the one that makes me nervous is her sort of going down the hall with the gun, and there's something about her. She seems nervous, and I don't know if I'm right. It looks like she's shaking slightly, and that reads as wrong to me for the Major. The Major is a very conflicted character, and there's a lot going on, but it's all in her head. When it comes to doing the job, she's literally a machine. She is on point. She does not falter. So seeing that made me slightly nervous. Now, no idea of context. I mean, once we get into the story, the point at which this happens, her being like that might make total sense and be justified and all good. But I mean, I'm gonna judge these things in a vacuum because that's how I'm getting them. And that's the only one that makes me kind of nervous. Do the other ones get me excited? No, but they don't give me anything to really be nervous about. What I'm seeing is like, that's a promising start. That's a promising place to start from. Let's see what else they can bring to the table. So I'm gonna remain optimistic right now. I mean, my big concern is still what it's always been in this adaptation, and that's the story. I was fairly confident once they got Rupert Sands in and confirmed as the director that it was going to look good, and it does look good. So my concern, it's the story. That's been my concern from over a year ago when I did my first video talking about Scarlett Johansson's initial casting. So I will see how it is, but I'm hopeful, and I would like this to work. Despite my natural inclination to really have a raging hate on for animated films being remade in live action. I'm still oddly hopeful for this one, so we'll see if this becomes the thing that takes me out of that mindset of always not liking this, or if this ends up just being terrible and being the nail in the coffin. Whatever is the case, we will see. But what about you? You checked out these teasers yet? What'd you think about them? Whatever it was, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Give a listen to the Council of Geeks podcast, available on iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned.